Hi, I'm Sophia Davis, and I'm the Director of Sales who you wanted to come in and talk about possible other sales channels for the Angelica doll and merchandise. So I know it's been a real tough year after We Are Toys closed, especially since that was our main source of promotion and distribution for the Angelica line. But I'm here to help, so no worries at all. First, I just kind of want to go back and go over some of the basics so we just fully understand this problem and we can really fix it and we can work together to fix it. So first, let's go over the importance of selling. Selling is really important, and it's communicating with the customers directly about their wants and needs, and in the end, hopefully influencing them to make a purchase. So this is really important because this is how businesses can create more personal relationships with their customers. It's also a great source to find out exactly what they're looking for, so then you as a business can provide for them. It's also how we can influence them. So if the customers are on the fence about something, this is how we can push them to buy that product. Studies show that people who are pushed by a salesperson and influenced and talked to about them about products, they were more likely to buy the product than people who weren't helped at all and just kind of went in on their own. So that's why sales and selling is a very important key factor. It's really basic, but it's really important. So now another basic thing, but very important, is also identifying your target market. So your target market is just mainly who you're selling to and mainly who you're looking to gain a profit from. So identifying and knowing all about your target market is key in a lot of different aspects of marketing. So to identify them, you really need to know how old they are, is there a specific gender, where do they mostly live, how do they act, what do they do for a living or for fun, just anything you can do to find out about them. So you can do different things like surveys about your customers, you can do market research, so many different forms and tools to identify that target market, but identifying it is really key in adjusting your product and your location and just everything about your company just based off that target market, because that's who's going to bring you in the most profit. So that's who you have to focus on. So for example, the Angelica line target market. We've done a survey for the customers and it's shown that the target market is little girls aged about 2 to 10 who probably like doing more stereotypical girly activities for fun, such as doing hair, playing dress up, playing with dolls, doing little things like that. But that's your main target market. Those girls and their parents are who you're selling to. So you really want to advertise to them, promote to them, make it so it's in their location, make it so it's affordable for them, because those are the people who's going to bring you in the most profit and the most cash. All right, so something else I should probably go over is the importance of the channels of distribution. So distribution channels are the chains of businesses and or services that products pass through until they actually get to the end consumer. So pretty much it's basically how the product can get from the business to the consumer. There's a lot of different ways it can do that. It can go directly to it. It can go through middlemen, like wholesalers or retailers. There's a lot of different functions that it can do. So its main function is just to provide a link between production and consumption, and it's very important because these channels pretty much determine if the customers have access to buy your product, and you really need to make sure they can, or no one's going to buy it and you're not going to make any profit. This is a very basic function, but it also is rather important one because it determines factoring. It's the determined factor for if your product can get to the consumer. And it's also very important because it's kind of determines if your target market will see it and where they will see it. Here's a little chart that I've made here, just showing all the different functions for it and different ways that it could go. But there's many different ways. Those were just a few. So now that we've covered the basics, let's look further into the problem at hand. So after the loss of your main sales channel, you've come up with a few other possibilities for new sales channels for the Angelica merchandise. And I've looked over some of them and I've kind of just analyzed them. So the first one you wanted to do was distribute them in grocery stores. Now there's definitely some big pros and cons with this one. So some pros are that customers can be shopping for groceries and shopping for a doll or something like that, and they can just knock it out in a one trip. They know the doll's at the grocery store, their food's at the grocery store. They don't have to go to 10 different stores to get it. It will also reach to a wider audience since like everyone has to go get food. They all have to go to the grocery store. It's not just like little girls and their parents trying to get a doll. Everyone has to go to the grocery store. So with that, those dolls in the grocery store, maybe it'll spark the interest of someone just buying groceries. Um but looking at this realistically, it's also just a grocery store. Like most people just want to go get their food, be in and out as fast as they can and go home and eat. And so even if someone else sees it that's not really in the main target market for this, they're most likely not going to buy it. And also your target market don't usually go to grocery stores. Kids don't usually go to grocery stores. Parents don't want to bring them because it's not interesting to them and they usually just cause a fit. And even if the parents just see it, they're not really likely to buy it because they're mostly looking for food because that's what they brought, that's what's in their budget. They're not really looking for a doll to buy. And if they don't have a whiny kid whining on them and that to get the toy, they're probably not going to cave and buy it. The second possible sales channel that you brought up is department stores. I think this is a fabulous idea actually because everyone goes to department stores, but like no one usually goes to buy a certain thing like at grocery stores. So like it brings benefits the grocery store or even the toy store couldn't supply. So like more people shop there other than just like children and parents such as like at the toy store, and like people go there with a more open mindset for what they want to buy versus at the grocery store where they're just like I want food and to just go home. Like no one really knows what they want at the department store. They're just kind of browsing and seeing whatever catches their eye. So this will reach a wider range of people and people will be more open to it. So they're more likely to buy it at a department store than they would be at a grocery store. And then this also like affects people inside and outside the target market. So like you'll get the parents and the girls, but you'll also get random people outside of it and they'll be more interested in buying it. But there is one concern I have in selling the merchandise is that it's just their competition will be much higher at the grocery store at the department store because there's just so many other products there that you're going to have to compete with. But we've done graphs and studies, and our predictions show that at the department store, your sales will go up way more than they would at a grocery store if you were to do sales channels there. So that's what we recommend, but that's just what we analyzed. So, but that's about it. Thank you for today. I just want to recap. Remember the importance of selling your target market, Remember the importance of identifying your target market and selling to them, and also remember distribution channels. And also really try to aim for that department store sales channel if you can, because we really think that'll just help you out a lot. But thank you so much for your time, and here's my card. If you need anything else or you have any questions or concerns, feel free to contact me. But thank you so much.